Can you hear my dog? It's going to be a
Well, I
distraction.
love your dog. Did it
Aw.
work? Is it recording for you?
It says it's recording. Wouldn't that be weird if it was only recording your side?
That'd be so weird if it didn't record. Okay. Okay. I think we're ready to go. Okay. Hi. Welcome back to the episode of This Is Not Late Night with Tyler / the Tyler Barker podcast. I am here with a wonderful guest. Her name is Jess Miller. She is an improv wizard over at Unexpected Productions. She's really smart, and she actually used to be my 200 instructor for improv. So she taught me everything she knows, and welcome to the show. Thank you, Miss Jess Miller.
Hi, thank you, Tyler Parker. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, how you been? How you doing?
Good. Things are going well. Busy with life and all those
Yeah,
sorts of things, but things are
yeah,
going really good. Like I
good.
said, yeah, and I'm excited that you invited me to connect with you because I
Yeah,
want to catch up and hear from you, and I want to support you, and I'm so excited to watch all of your adventuring that I see that you do. So I want to be here to support you 100% because I see how ambitious you are, and I love it.
thank
So yeah,
you.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I think you're so ambitious too. When I took your class, I was like, oh my God, she's like amazing. I love her. She's so great. And you're so free spirited. You're so smart too. And I love that. I think it's awesome. I think it's so
Yeah,
wonderful.
when I was a younger whippersnapper,
But
maybe.
you're still young. You look like you're 27. You're great. You're
Oh my gosh, this podcast can go on forever. If you say that, thank you.
Yeah, as I get older too, it feels like, man, I'm so tired. I wanna go to bed and just relax and just watch YouTube videos, you know?
Well, thinking about like when you took my class, you were, I think, 14 or 15, were you not?
No, I
How old
was
were
like
you?
20.
No way.
Yeah, I'm 20.
Really?
Yeah, I'm almost 30. I'm 27.
No way. I could have sworn you were the youngest one in the class.
Yeah, because I think it was
But
back in 2019, I think,
really,
maybe. Yes, I was 20. Yeah,
you were 20, but you were
yeah,
definitely the youngest, or had to have been one of the youngest in the
yeah,
class. I thought you
yeah,
were younger than that. That's so funny.
yeah. I get that a lot.
I know you do, and I'm sure you're like, thanks a lot. But you bring young, strong
Uh-huh.
energy, and yeah, no, I don't think it's.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. Yeah, but anyway, that's so cool that I took in your class. We would never have met if you think about it, if I never took in that class and whatnot.
I know. Um, but that's part of the adventure, right? Do you
Yeah,
remember like the people from your class and um, sort of? Do you remember the experience? Because it would have been your 200, so it was your
right,
second class, or had you
right.
done any of the
Yeah.
other programs?
Yeah, I remember doing 100 and I loved it and I think it was awesome. And then I specifically remember our class was only had 3 people and I loved that because I think a
So
small
small.
class
Yeah.
it makes it more funner that way, I guess. And
Yeah,
like,
I do remember that. Yeah, I think we had a few more than that, but it wasn't a lot, and it was like
no,
we're constantly on stage.
right. I loved
Right.
it.
Yeah. So like
Yeah.
the students in that class always on their feet.
Yeah.
Um, and it gives you so many more opportunities to like rotate through the exercises. There's pros and cons, but yeah, a
Mhm.
small
Mhm.
class, if you want to,
Yeah.
you have the energy and you want to be up, that is
Yeah.
like definitely a benefit
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, I mean, the teacher too made it super enjoyable as well. So I couldn't have asked for a better teacher than you. So it was awesome. It was so much
You,
fun.
there are so many great teachers at UP that I would, if you're still exploring improv, you could take
Hmm.
200 again. You would have a whole
Hmm.
new teacher experience. You would gain,
Yeah.
you would gain so much from a
Yeah.
different teacher, even in the same level,
Hmm.
because everyone teaches unique, and you end up in a classroom with new people.
Yeah.
And it's just like improv in and of itself, right? Every
Hmm.
class, because of the students that are in it, because of the people that teach it, it's
Hmm.
unique and it creates a whole different dynamic. So it's like you
Yeah.
could take any class again.
Yeah.
It's going to be unique and it's going to have a different dynamic because of
Yeah.
all those like changes, even if it's the exact same games every single class.
Hmm.
But that's one of the cool parts of sort of the nature of improv, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's unique to everybody, and it's different. Like once you step into one room, it's totally different perspective from the other person, like right next to me too. It's gonna be different for everybody. I think that's so cool. I think it's great.
Do you feel like do you still do any improv? Are you exercising any improv?
Kind of, well,
Stand up.
yeah, I think in my day-to-day life, I've definitely used it like a
Yeah.
crap ton. Yeah, for like work if I'm bored and I'm just like, like, what are you doing? I don't know. But in my head, I'm like, oh, I'm totally doing improv right now. It's amazing. I love it. Oh, you do the same too when you're not doing improv? Because like you've done, how long have you been doing improv for? Like years,
Oh,
right?
since you were 14, for sure. Um, I would have started my very first experience with improv would have been, I'd venture to guess 2009 or 10 maybe.
Okay.
And it was with a group out of Jacksonville, Florida. And
Mhm.
the way that I found improv was a fairly, I would say, non-traditional way, and that um, I was in my freshman year of college, and I had to take a speech class, and
Mhm.
my speech teacher basically within the first couple of weeks was like, I don't think you're going to pass this class. And
What?
yeah, this is very serious. I tell the story and it's so true because the teacher had this like caterpillar mustache, just like this huge mustache, kind of like in the movie Sandlot, right? You know how it's
Yeah. Yeah.
forever. And I swear in my head, the teacher is like, you're gonna fail. And it's like that same mustache.
Oh,
So
no.
So I luckily I somehow managed to, pull myself up by the bootstraps in that class and I passed
Mhm.
it. I went on to, finish my undergrad, but I got to grad school and I was like, I kind of think that teacher was on to something. Like in grad school is where I really had to begin to flex
Mhm.
skills of like communicating in public spaces and in front of, audiences to some degree.
Mhm.
And I sucked. Like just like
Really?
shaking,
Yeah.
sweating, all the things that come along with like just not being good at it.
Yeah.
I was in Florida and I was in grad school and I was like I really got to figure this out because otherwise I'm going to
Mhm.
really struggle for all this time. And so I was going to take one of those classes that teaches you public speaking. I forget the name of it.
Mhm. It's like Toastmaster?
Yeah, exactly. So I was
Yeah.
going to take a Toastmasters. But I heard a advertisement for an improv class, and it was
Mhm.
cheaper. And I was like
Okay.
a poor college kid, and I was like, "Well, that one's cheaper. I'm gonna do the cheaper one."
Right, right.
And
Yeah.
that's how I ended up doing improv. So I did improv in a church class, like a
Uh-huh.
classroom of a church, for a couple of rounds with their little curriculum that they had,
Mhm.
and then performed for a little while with that group. It was pretty short lived before I moved to Seattle, and then I liked it so much I kept doing it,
Mhm.
and yeah, totally changed so many aspects of how I see the world, who I
Mhm.
know in the world, uh,
Mhm.
and just what my interests are. I think have
Mhm.
expanded so much. So it kind of forces you to explore things that aren't in your typical, you know,
Yeah.
you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I kind of got to learn about this
Yeah.
because no telling what's going to happen in those moments. So
Right.
yeah, it's been a really cool experience in that way. So
That's so cool. I also love the fact that, like, you wanted to get better at something, so you went to go to, like, a speaking class, and then turns out you found something even bigger than that, and then you got more confident in yourself too, and I think that's so awesome. I think that's
yeah,
great.
what a good point. I didn't even think about that. I definitely went in with just the
Mhm.
goal of getting through a couple of years of like I just need a baseline
Yeah.
of being able to get words out of my mouth
Mhm.
in this space, and
Yeah.
yeah, that idea of like you never know what you're really going to discover if you try something that's a little scary. It's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess I
That
really sort of that moment.
you should be very proud of yourself because that's so cool. I love how you carry yourself. You're very, like, optimistic person. I think it's wonderful. I think it's
Not
so
not always, Tyler, but I try to be. I try to be.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Do you
it's a
remember
little.
the first day you went into improv? Do you like were you nervous at all? Were you like kind
Yeah,
of scared and like how'd you find Seattle improv? Were you just like, I love it so much, let's look it up?
yeah, no, I was totally scared. I was like scared shitless. It was
Right.
so intimidating. It was such a I didn't even know really what it was. Like
Mhm.
there's this whole world of improv. I was already, I was in grad school. I had honestly never heard of it. I hadn't been to plays. I didn't have any sort of like acting background at all. I was a little
Right.
science nerd. Uh,
Right.
so I didn't really understand how improv fit into the world of like when we go see movies or what we're seeing on TV.
Mhm.
I understood that there was like sketch, but I didn't really understand this whole
Mhm.
universe of like the improv world that existed. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, and of course, I mean, I was so nervous.
Mhm.
I was like every other little 100 kid
Mhm.
that goes into a class and is like, this feels weird, and these games are awkward,
Yeah.
and what does this all mean? And
Mhm.
yeah, until you kind of learn to let that go, and when everybody lets that go, you're like, oh, this is weird and fun, and we look like we're like kids, but this is amazing. We're all weird, and suddenly it feels
Uh-huh.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That's that's awesome. Did you ever do like open mics for like for improv stuff? Did you ever do
Do
those or you just
those?
I'm just yeah, but not
Yeah.
like in college, for example?
No, no.
Mhm.
Like I'm saying, your experience that I'm seeing, at least from what you're portraying and the
Mhm.
updates that you provide, like on Instagram and stuff,
Mhm.
I'm so impressed with how you move yourself into spaces that you like. You've always talked about, even in the class, that you were like, "This is I'm ambitious to do this. I'm going to school. I'm loving improv. I'm gonna travel." You're doing
Mhm.
that. I remember you talking about that and saying you were going to do stand up. And if I understand correctly, did you not create a stand up club in your school? Is that
Yeah.
true? I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
talk about ambition is like I went and found improv because it kind of existed and I tumbled into it. You created the club. And I mean,